The life of a public figure in the world of ministry can be both a beacon of hope for millions and a magnet for controversy. Such is the paradox faced by Jimmy Evans, a pastor, author, and televangelist who has impacted countless lives around the world through his teachings on marriage, family, and faith. His ministry, centered on biblical principles and practical wisdom, has resonated with a broad audience. However, with influence and visibility comes scrutiny, and Evans has not been exempt from the complex web of controversies that often surround prominent figures in Christian leadership. These controversies span a range of issues, from accusations of theological shifts to questions surrounding his leadership style and financial transparency. The questions raised by his critics and followers alike underscore the difficulties that come with public ministry and the human challenges even the most dedicated spiritual leaders face. In this exploration, we will delve into the life and ministry of Jimmy Evans, examining his rise to prominence, the controversies that have followed him, and the lessons learned along the way. From his humble beginnings to his years of leadership at Trinity Fellowship Church, Evans has become one of the most influential voices in Christian media. Yet, as we will see, his journey is not without its share of struggles, debates, and moments of reflection that have both shaped his ministry and challenged the faith of those who look up to him. Early life and calling. A journey from humble beginnings. Born and raised in Amarillo, Texas, Jimmy Evans's early life was anything but glamorous. Growing up in a working-class family, he had limited exposure to religious life until his teenage years. However, it was during this pivotal time in his life that Evans had a profound encounter with faith that set the course for his future ministry. As a young man, he experienced a transformative moment when he decided to give his life to Christ. This decision marked a clear turning point in his life, and Evans felt a calling to pursue ministry. His newfound commitment to the Christian faith led him to pursue theological studies, and soon he was ready to take on the role of a pastor. Evans's first significant ministry position was as the senior pastor of Trinity Fellowship Church in Amarillo, where he served for over 3 decades. Under his leadership, the church grew exponentially and his ministry flourished. The church became a thriving hub for worship, teaching, and community outreach, attracting believers not only from Texas, but from across the United States. Evans's commitment to biblical teaching and his passion for helping others draw closer to God set the foundation for what would become a larger-than-life ministry. Marriage ministry, a legacy of guidance and controversy. Among the many aspects of Evans's ministry, one of the most significant contributions he made was through his work in marriage ministry. Alongside his wife, Karen Evans, he co-founded Marriage Today, a ministry dedicated to helping couples build strong, Christ-centered marriages. Through television programs, books, seminars, and conferences, the Evanses became well known for offering practical wisdom and biblical counsel to couples facing challenges in their relationships. Evans's most enduring legacy in ministry is likely his work on marriage, where he emphasized the importance of healthy communication, resolving conflict, maintaining intimacy, and fostering mutual respect between spouses. His teachings on marriage, presented in books such as Marriage on the Rock and The 4 Laws of Love, became staples for Christian couples seeking guidance on how to navigate the complexities of their relationships. Through his accessible and relatable approach, Evans was able to break down difficult topics and make them understandable for a wide range of people, from young couples just starting out to those in long-term marriages facing significant struggles. However, as with any public figure in ministry, Evans's marriage teachings were not without their criticisms. Some observers and critics argued that his emphasis on marriage as a source of fulfillment and joy led to an unrealistic portrayal of married life. While Evans's messages were filled with compassion and biblical wisdom, critics believed that his teachings on marriage occasionally glossed over the reality that not all marriages thrive in the way that Evans described. In fact, many couples face deeply entrenched issues that may not be solved by simply adhering to a set of biblical principles. This perceived oversimplification of marriage led some to question whether Evans's approach was too idealized and whether it was misleading to couples facing difficult circumstances. The prosperity gospel controversy. Accusations and criticisms. One of the first major controversies surrounding Jimmy Evans was his perceived association with the prosperity gospel, a controversial theology that teaches that God rewards faithfulness with material blessings and financial prosperity. While Evans has consistently denied being aligned with prosperity preachers, his messages about success in marriage, personal fulfillment, and financial stability were sometimes interpreted as promoting the idea that faithfulness to God leads to material wealth and personal happiness. Critics of the prosperity gospel argue that this theology distorts the message of Christianity by focusing too much on earthly rewards and not enough on the eternal promises of salvation and spiritual growth. Some detractors pointed to Evans's teachings on financial success and the importance of material blessings as evidence that his approach to faith sometimes bordered on this theology. Evans's focus on marriage and personal prosperity, particularly in his books and media appearances, seemed to suggest that applying biblical principles would always result in personal success and happiness. While Evans's intent was never to advocate for materialism, critics felt that his message could be interpreted as promising that a strong Christian marriage based on biblical principles would inevitably lead to a trouble-free and fulfilling life. This idealized portrayal of marriage and success alienated some followers who found that their personal experiences did not align with the teachings they were receiving. For some, the reality of life's struggles, whether in marriage or finances, did not match the promises that Evans's messages seemed to imply. Theological shifts and doctrinal criticism. End times teachings. In addition to criticisms of his marriage ministry, Jimmy Evans has also faced scrutiny for his views on eschatology, the study of the end times. Over the years, Evans has developed a strong interest in biblical prophecy, particularly regarding the rapture, tribulation, and the second coming of Christ. His writings and teachings on these topics, found in books like Tipping Point, The End is Here, have sparked considerable interest, but they have also drawn criticism. Evans's focus on the imminent return of Christ and the events leading up to it has raised concerns among some evangelicals, who argue that his teachings verge on sensationalism. Critics claim that Evans's eschatological focus may instill fear in his followers, potentially overshadowing the more hopeful aspects of the gospel. His tendency to emphasize the urgency of preparing for the end times has led some to question whether he is creating unnecessary anxiety and fear about the future. While his teachings on prophecy are rooted in biblical interpretations, others have expressed concern that the sensational nature of his messages could lead believers to overlook the central message of peace, trust in God, and hope for eternal life. The debates surrounding Evans's eschatological views are indicative of the broader division within evangelical Christianity regarding the role of prophecy in teaching. Some believers are eager for detailed explorations of the end times, while others believe that such focus detracts from the core message of the gospel, which is centered on salvation and reconciliation with God. Financial mismanagement allegations. Scrutiny of ministry finances. As with many large ministries, Jimmy Evans has faced questions regarding the financial operations of marriage today and related endeavors. The scale of his ministry, encompassing books, television programs, seminars, and conferences, has brought attention to the financial transparency of the organization. Some skeptics have raised concerns about how funds are allocated and whether proper oversight exists in terms of budgeting and spending. While there has been no concrete evidence of financial wrongdoing, the lack of transparency in large-scale ministries is a recurring issue that often leads to questions about accountability. Financial stewardship is a sensitive topic for many Christian ministries, and the scrutiny faced by Evans's ministry reflects the broader tension between faith-based organizations and the public's desire for financial accountability. Supporters of Evans argue that his track record of integrity and his commitment to the gospel speak for themselves. But critics maintain that financial transparency is essential in maintaining trust with supporters and ensuring the long-term sustainability of the ministry. The personal life of a public leader: a model, marriage, or burden. Another aspect of Jimmy Evans's life that has garnered attention is his marriage to his wife, Karen. As co-leaders of marriage today, the Evanses have frequently shared their own experiences with marriage, offering candid stories of challenges and reconciliation. Their marriage, often portrayed as a model of godly love and commitment, has inspired countless couples. However, some critics have questioned whether the public portrayal of their marriage places undue pressure on the Evanses to maintain a perfect image. The expectation of presenting an idealized relationship can sometimes lead to internal struggles that remain hidden from the public eye. While the Evanses have been open about their past difficulties and the struggles they've faced in their marriage, some question whether such vulnerability is appropriate for a public platform. The weight of being seen as role models can be difficult, and the scrutiny of their marriage has invited some to wonder whether the pressures of public ministry have had a negative impact on their personal relationship. Redemption and resilience. A leader responds to criticism. In the face of controversy, Jimmy Evans has remained resilient. Rather than retreating from the public spotlight, Evans has used criticism as an opportunity for growth, reflection, and improvement. His ability to engage with his critics and address concerns directly in his teachings has allowed him to maintain a loyal following. His openness about his struggles and willingness to learn from mistakes has endeared him to many, who see him as a leader who is not afraid to confront challenges head-on. Evans's response to controversy demonstrates his commitment to humility and perseverance. He continues to emphasize the importance of faith, personal growth, and humility, not just in ministry, but in everyday life. His leadership, grounded in biblical truth and characterized by a desire for personal integrity, has allowed him to weather the storms of criticism with grace. The legacy of Jimmy Evans, a complex yet powerful ministry. Despite the controversies that have marked his ministry, Jimmy Evans's impact on the Christian world is undeniable. His teachings on marriage, family, and faith have strengthened countless relationships, provided comfort and guidance to those in need, and sparked meaningful conversations about the future of the church. Evans has created a legacy that transcends the controversies that have sometimes defined his career. He remains an influential figure in Christian media and a voice of reason and hope for those seeking guidance in their marriages and relationships. Conclusion: the enduring power of faith and leadership in the face of adversity. Jimmy Evans's story is a testament to the enduring power of faith, the complexities of leadership, and the unshakable promise of redemption. His ministry, shaped by both triumphs and trials, serves as a reminder of the challenges inherent in public life. For his critics, Evans's journey is a cautionary tale about the responsibilities of leadership, while for his supporters, it is a powerful example of resilience, humility, and a deep commitment to God's calling. Through it all, Evans remains a prominent voice in Christian ministry, navigating the complexities of public life with grace and integrity.